Welcome to the real world. My name is Cameron. Thank you so much for joining us on this very special video where we are reviewing Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 on Blu-ray. We're going to unbox the film, then we're going to watch the film, then we're going to review the film. So let's check it out. Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. This is the Blu-ray edition. Includes a digital code. I like the cover art a lot of characters. Multiverse story, so it makes sense. Artwork on the back I like as well. Got a couple of special features there. It's a little bit of a longer runtime, 93 minutes this one. Most of these are usually under 90 minutes. Here's the spine. I'll talk about the spine later. Let's go ahead and take it out of the slip cover. And we have the same artwork on the front and on the back and on the spine. Go ahead and tear into it here. Here we have the Blu-ray edition. Pop it open. There's our disc and our digital code. So whoever's first to grab it, you got it. There's the digital code right there. Enjoy the digital version of Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. I appreciate that they included some disc art there. That's nice too, as most of these films do. So yeah, solid Blu-ray box here, typical packaging, nothing too incredibly special, but very nicely done. Alright folks, we just finished watching Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1.
That's right.
The big 3-part finale of the DC.
Oh, it's a 3-part finale.
It's a 3-parter.
Wow. I thought it was only 2.
It's a trilogy.
I had no idea.
Yeah, they're doing a Justice League
What
trilogy.
was interesting while watching it is I got to a point where I'm like, how is this going to be a part 2? It felt like it was going
it was wrapping up. Yeah, it was wrapping up.
And
then the ending happens.
Right.
And it's very Infinity War.
Yeah.
Because it's big cliffhanger at the end.
Right. So just general non-spoiler reaction.
Yeah, non-spoilers first. I thought this was fun. I thought, it tried to do a lot.
It's very ambitious. And it's very fragmented.
Yes.
And that's kind of the point.
Yeah, because it's kind of retroactively filling in all the gaps in this continuity.
Exactly.
Which you can see here. I've got the whole continuity starting with Superman Man of Tomorrow.
Right.
So this has been going on for several years now. And I've really enjoyed all these movies.
Yeah. I think these movies thus far have been some of the greatest animated stuff DC's ever done.
Yeah. Really fun.
Man of Tomorrow. Incredible film.
Great.
Batman Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. Amazing.
Yeah.
All the stuff.
Society,
the Green Lantern stuff, the Justice Society.
Legion of Superheroes.
Those movies have all
really cool.
Really been a step up in quality, even compared to the older DC animated continuity.
I think so overall, I would agree.
Yeah, just consistently impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
And this kind of acts as a, I don't want to say filler, but in a different way than people would consider filler. It kind of acts as a bridge between.
It's showing us what happened. Yeah, what happened. All the missing pieces that we didn't have before, like how the Justice League formed, and all these different things. How these characters initially interacted that they kind of skipped over.
Right.
This movie does a really good job of filling in the gaps. It makes me want to go back and rewatch all those other ones in a cool way. So. Yeah. Really enjoyed it. I think, there's some great action sequences. They introduce a lot of new characters that we hadn't seen before in this universe. And
brought in characters, because obviously this is a multiverse story.
Right.
Brought in some characters from some of the animated shorts that have been out, which was cool.
Was really cool.
It was great to see great few cameos from fan favorite characters.
Definitely.
But this is definitely a movie for people like us.
Oh yeah, who are big into the DC Comics universe.
Not just the comics universe,
and
but
the
have
specific
seen
continuity.
Exactly. This continuity, have seen all of the other animated universes. There's a
shorts.
lot of references to the original older continuity. And there's even some, DC animated universe references for
it was really cool.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, it's
Definitely
made for fans.
Exactly.
I think pretty much anyone can watch it though and get something out of it because it's while there's a big multiverse story going on, a lot of characters, it's really a Flash story. It's very much focused on him. As we see from the cover art, he's front and center throughout this whole story.
Exactly.
And it tells a really compelling story about him and Iris.
Definitely.
Really at the heart of the film. And so if you follow that through, you're definitely going to get a lot out of it. You're going to get a lot of superhero action. You're going to get that kind of stuff. So I would recommend it.
Very classic, almost Super Friends style.
Definitely.
Just team up, stop the bad guy
Exactly,
stuff.
yeah.
Mixed in with a bunch of other totally random different things that we'll get into in just a second.
Right.
But yeah, I'd say my rating for this is probably 3 stars.
Okay.
I don't think it's super high, but I think for people like this who enjoy this, I think it's definitely useful information that enhances everything before it.
Yeah, I'm a little higher. I think I'm at 4. I think I would give this a full 4 stars because it's a great, again, bridge, I feel like, between all of these movies that I've enjoyed. And sets up a really compelling and interesting finale.
Sure.
That I think over these 3 movies we're going to get a really big story.
Very curious to see where it goes.
I'm really interested to see how it's all going to come together. So that's our non-spoilers review. We're going to get into spoilers right now.
So into spoilers. Crazy.
I mean,
crazy movie.
It's insane. So
we've talked about how it's fragmented, and that's kind of the whole idea. Is Flash, because of the events of the Just Society movie, because he rewrote history.
Right.
He
went to another Earth.
Right.
So he's aware of all kinds of stuff that
and
other
came
characters
back
aren't aware of.
and absorbed the Speed Force from that Earth.
Right. So he can travel through time, pass through dimensions, all kinds of stuff.
He is not experiencing time linearly.
No.
Which is something that makes a lot of sense in hindsight.
It's a great idea.
When you look at his character's behavior in the past movies, he's constantly like spacing out and doing weird things, and
it makes me think they had this whole universe totally planned out from the beginning.
It
really makes me think that. I mean, maybe they didn't, but it really feels that way because
it seems like they've been planting the seeds.
He goes back to little moments from Justice League World or things like that just I remember that happened. That was a weird moment. This is what was going on.
Exactly.
So it's really cool how they did that. I liked, you mentioned in the non-spoilers, cameos from other characters. Blue Beetle and the question from their animated short, and they're talking like they're from the 1960s kind of Super Friends stuff. So combining all these different continuities in this really interesting way, and it worked. It didn't ever feel too out of place. I mean, it was out of place, but intentionally out of place.
I'll tell you what was most out of place, and I think most unnecessary, and that's the addition of the crime syndicate. So this is, I think, the greatest weakness of the film. And what I think really subtracts a star from it in my eyes. Because unless this is something that comes back later, which I don't know how it would.
I think it has to.
I don't know how it would come back later, considering that they were all obliterated and
not
dusted to nothing.
We don't know.
It's always possible. I mean, this happens in comics all the time. But to me, their storyline,
didn't really go anywhere.
It went nowhere, and it didn't really teach us anything.
Impact on the story.
If it was just to teach Flash how to do a thing, how to time travel in a different way, or how to whatever, but it wasn't. It didn't go anywhere. It was just, we're the bad Justice League, and we're bored because we've killed everybody in the whole world.
It was like they wanted to remake Crisis on 2 Earths, which I'm a big fan of. This is a much kind of simpler version of this story, Crisis on Infinite Earths.
And more focused on those characters and why that dark reality is significant to the heroes of the Justice League.
Definitely.
But this is not that story.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't, I mean, there was nothing even really done
with those characters
to say anything.
I agree. I think it will end up coming back. If it doesn't, then I would agree with you.
Yeah.
That was totally a kind of pointless situation, but I think it will come back in some significant way. Really like the inclusion of Amazo.
I agree.
A new version of that character.
I think that Amazo being a catalyst for the Justice League forming is a great idea.
It is, and it worked really well. Really liked what they did with that, and Ivo and Luthor and that whole thing.
And it's difficult to keep track of because, again, it's all nonlinear.
Yeah.
And Flash is constantly jumping between different points in time and different realities. Yeah. So it's hard to keep track of what is going on and when it's happening.
I could see a new person getting involved. If they've never seen this before, they would be very confused.
And if they're not familiar with this kind of storytelling, which this is something we're familiar with in Justice League stories.
Right, and people are getting very familiar with the multiverse idea with Marvel doing it.
That's
and
true.
All kinds of people are doing this thing now.
Right. But I think
outside of comic books.
I think what's done in something like Spider-Verse is we're continually following one character.
True.
We're following Gwen or we're following Miles throughout one cohesive story.
Which, again, I think is why this one did it well, because they followed Flash all the way through.
I think so, too.
It was a really smart move.
Yeah.
If it had been, Superman, then Batman, then Flash, then Wonder Woman, and they're all on different Earths, and that would have been too much. But having Flash as the catalyst really worked. So, again, I had a blast watching it. Some really fun fight sequences, action sequences, great mix of characters, incredible voice cast.
Definitely.
Wes Gleason is doing Andrea Romano justice. I mean, he's done a great job casting these movies and directing the actors. Some really, really good moments there.
Yeah, really. I mean, I think moments is definitely the highlight.
Yeah.
Moments between Batman deciding to form the Justice League with everybody.
Yeah.
Moments of...
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Moment was cool.
Batman and Huntress.
Ah, yeah.
And that whole, totally... unexpected thing that worked really well.
Superman and Lois, Superman and Diana.
Exactly. There's even a moment with Earth 1's version of Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see Batman decide not to adopt Robin.
Yes.
And to just, give him up for adoption.
Yeah, that was really...
That was very interesting of a choice for Bruce to make. And it makes sense for this version of Batman to make, because he's young.
Yes.
And he's still very much a loner. But yeah, it was interesting.
Yep. Great. So, again, star ratings, Carson's at a 3. I'm at a 4. Can't wait to see part 2. I heard the preview for it is already out, so we need to check that out.
Okay, yeah.
That'll come out, I think, later this year. And so we'll probably have all 3 parts, maybe by the end of the year.
Sure.
This universe will end. I don't know if it was always the plan for it to end this way.
Well, here's what makes me think...
It kind of feels odd because the lineup here, if you can see, does not quite... we'll cut to a close-up of that. Does not quite come together.
It's odd. Obviously, the spine aren't supposed to line up to say...
DC Universe. It looks like is what was spelling.
Sure. It's a kind of a long title, though. Right. You have to have,
They were planning on 20 more movies.
I guess.
And they had to cut it off here. I'm guessing because James Gunn took over and was like... This is all going to connect now, so you got to enter your universe?
Maybe.
That's the only thing I could think of.
It's possible.
Why they would do that. Unless they're just not selling very well, which I think they've been selling for... they've been doing this for almost 20 years.
True.
Look at all these movies.
I know, they're all over us.
So maybe one day we'll do a full breakdown of all these movies. That would be a fun video.
That'd be a daunting task.
It would be a lot to go through, but it would be fun.
These are all... most of all of these are terrific.
Yeah, I agree.
DC has dominated animation since the 90s.
100%.
Since the 60s.
That's true. True. Since the original Super Friends.
Yeah. There's a lot of material here, and I think that the Tomorrowverse is definitely, for the uninitiated, one that's nice to jump into.
It would be a great place to start.
A good place to start. And even so far, it's even though it's connected to a bunch of other different things.
Sure.
It's still, I think, small enough and has high enough quality.
I agree.
To be a good place to start.
For sure.
And if not, you go right into the DCAU. All those series, all those shows.
The shows are the best.
The shows are incredible.
We got to do a breakdown because this year is the 20th anniversary of Justice League Unlimited.
That's right.
So we got to start doing some.
Which I got a lot of Justice League Unlimited vibes from Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh sure. Oh yeah. Absolutely. The team gathered in the Watchtower.
Team gathering. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So anyways, great stuff. Thank you again for joining us. Make sure you leave a comment with your reaction to Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Let us know if you picked up the Blu-ray, what you thought. I thought the video and sound quality was excellent throughout. There's a couple special features we're going to check out that look really interesting. So again, let us know your review in the comments. Tell us your favorite DC animated movies of all time. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos, and we'll see you next time right here on The Real World.